From 8 News Now, this is Politics Now with Steve Sebelius and Patrick Walker.
The 2018 election is now history, and Nevada saw a blue wave up and down the ballot. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Sebelius. Patrick Walker is on assignment. We'll get to some results in a minute, but first, making history. Tuesday's midterm was definitely one for the history books. From electing the first female-majority congressional delegation to the unseating of a nearly 30-year incumbent senator, there's plenty to keep Nevada political junkies interested in Tuesday's results. Let's start with turnout. A grand total of 969,000 Nevada voters turned out to vote either early or on Election Day. That works out to 62% of the 1.5 million active registered voters. That's pretty good. It exceeds the midterm turnout in any previous election and beats the old 2010 record by nearly 250,000 votes. Democratic Clark County Commission Chairman Steve Sisolak beat Republican Attorney General Adam Laxalt by 4 points, 49% to 45%. It was clear it was over once the Clark County numbers came in. Here's Sisolak after watching those results.
And right here in Nevada, we're going to prove that we won't be divided by partisan politics in Washington. We will not be divided by North versus South, rural or urban. We will be one Nevada, working together, and that starts right now.
Well, Sisolak also made some history. He's the first county commissioner in 2 decades to get elected to higher office. In fact, more former commissioners have gone to prison than have graduated to higher office. Second, Sisolak is the first Democratic governor since Bob Miller left office in early 1999. And third, he's the first Southerner to hold the office since former Governor Kenny Gwinn, who left office in early 2007. And Sisolak will have 2 democratically controlled houses in the legislature to work with. The Nevada Assembly also has 22 women, which constitutes a female majority for the first time ever. Democrats named Kelvin Atkinson the state Senate Majority Leader this week, while Republicans selected Minden Senator James Settlemyre as their leader. And Jason Frierson will return as Speaker in the Assembly. Republicans in the lower house will be led by Jim Wheeler. He's also from Minden. In the U.S. Senate race, the blue wave claimed another victory that seemed to be over as soon as the Washoe County numbers came in. Democrats had targeted Heller as the only Republican up for re-election in a state won by Hillary Clinton. Democratic Congresswoman Jackie Rosen will be the next U.S. Senator for Nevada after unseating Dean Heller by 5 percentage points. That gives Nevada 2 female senators for the first time ever.
And called up Jackie Rosen and congratulated her on a great race. Congratulated on what she did, what her party was able to achieve, not just in my race, but all the way down that ballot.
We talked about the race. No, I appreciate that. He served this state for 30 years, and so I want to thank him for his service to our state and for his gracious call and to help with the transition in our office. That's what we'd call a mensch.
A mensch is Yiddish and translates to a good person or a person of noble character worthy of emulation. Now, in the 4 congressional races, Democrat Dina Titus and Republican Mark Amodei easily held their seats. And in Congressional District 3, Republican Danny Tarkanian lost for the 6th time. Democrat Susie Lee will take over that seat, and Rosen's leaving it behind, so it stays in Democratic hands. And in the rematch election that pitted 2 former Congressional District 4 representatives against each other, Democrat Stephen Horsford will be returning to Congress. He beat Crescent Hardy by 8 percentage points. Hardy beat Horsford in the red wave of 2014. Current Congressman Ruben Kuhn is leaving after a sexual harassment scandal, but is considering a potential comeback bid by running for the Las Vegas City Council. Those races played out like a lot of people expected, though a lot of people also expected the Senate race to be very close, especially considering that Heller had never lost a race in his long political career. Now, while all the candidates seemed to take their defeats with grace during their concession speeches, that wasn't the case for everyone in their campaign. Danny Tarkanian's wife, Amy Tarkanian, gave a defiant and fiery speech at the podium, and former Governor Bob List, who was one of Adam Laxalt's main surrogates, blamed Laxalt's loss on current Governor Brian Sandoval, who declined to make an endorsement in the governor's race.
I hold Brian Sandoval accountable for a betrayal of our party and a betrayal of a great Attorney General, and I think a betrayal of Nevada. What's going to happen here is a next legislative session with the dominant Democrat legislature and a Democrat governor is going to undo everything that he vetoed last time. He's going to be saying, whoa, what was I thinking when I didn't help Adam Laxalt? All the things that he vetoed, all the things he fought against last time. And I'll put sanctuary cities in there, I'll put voting of felons. The list goes on and on. 41 vetoes that were passed by the Democrat legislature. All those measures are going to come right back, and I fully expect them to be signed into law. So out of total ego, Brian Sandoval killed what could have been an opportunity to sustain his legacy. It's going to be undone. It's going to be undone. Thank you, Brian. Thanks a lot.
Please, there is no room for the voters to complain when you're going to put a liar into office. It is your fault. He stood firm when everyone else here at the top of the ticket last election distanced themselves from that point candidate Trump. I pray to God that the president take a look and see what happened here, because this man was loyal to him.
Well, Amy Tarkanian was referring to Tarkanian's 2016 opponent, Jackie Rosen. Danny Tarkanian has sued Rosen for defamation because of how the Rosen campaign characterized his work as a resident agent for several businesses that went on to commit fraud. Tarkanian was not involved in the day-to-day operations of those businesses. Now, one county race with an interesting result was the contest for district attorney. Steve Wolfson had already won that contest in the primary, and because he defeated a fellow Democrat, only Wolfson's name appeared on the ballot. But it seems quite a few voters protested Wolfson as their only option by simply not voting in that race, while candidates for assessor, clerk, recorder, treasurer, and public administrator drew around 635,000 votes. Wolfson only saw 492,000 votes. That's more than 140,000 fewer votes than in any other county race. Now, some of that undervote may be attributable to Wolfson's being the only name on the ballot, but his tenure has also seen controversy over payments made to witnesses that were not disclosed to defense attorneys, as well as a top Wolfson aide committing theft from his campaign account, but not being prosecuted for that crime.